everyone. Thanks for joining us on Nationwide. I am Dennis Adegunloye. We'll begin with security matters. In a strategic move to enhance the operational capacity of the Nigerian Air Force, the Chief of the Air Staff, Air Marshal Sunday Anike, has led a program management review meeting with senior United States government officials and representatives of Messrs. Bell Textron in San Diego, California, USA. The engagement focused on fast-tracking the acquisition of 12 AH-1Z attack helicopters, a critical capability-enhanced professional and mission-ready force capable of delivering decisive air power in attainment of national security objectives. A statement by the Director of Public Relations and Information, Air Commodore Ehimen Ejodame, indicates that Air Marshal Anike expressed appreciation to the American governments and Messrs. Bell Textron for their continued cooperation in the execution of the helicopter acquisition program. The Air Chief noted that the acquisition of the AH-1Z helicopters represents more than a platform upgrade, assuring the U.S. team that his administration would take all necessary measures to ensure the helicopters are delivered in the shortest possible time, while expressing gratitude to President Bola Tinubu for his unwavering support to the Nigerian Air Force to equip it. With abundant arable land, vast livestock resources and a pool of talented youths, Nigeria and Nigerians have no reason to be poor. Minister of Livestock Development Idi Mukhtar Meha made the remark at the groundbreaking ceremony for the construction of a hide, skin and beef value chain development hub championed by the Livestock Productivity and Resilience Support Project, LPRES, in Wamako local government area of Sokoto State. Yusuf Jika reports.
The hide, skin and beef value chain development hub is designed to address critical gaps across the livestock value chain, from production and processing to storage and marketing. The project is expected to create jobs, reduce post-harvest losses, improve incomes for livestock producers, and enhance animal health, food safety, and environmental sustainability.
It's a conglomerate of livestock activities that will be linked with market linkage and with all the beneficiaries around this area and Sokoto as a whole. We assure you of adequate support in funding and adequate support in implementation.
The Minister of Livestock Development, Idi Mukhtar Meha, and the Sokoto State Governor, Amit Aliyu, have expressed commitment to effective collaboration and synergy to modernize the livestock industry, promote peaceful coexistence, and ensure that livestock-dependent communities are not left behind in the national development agenda.
Nigeria no longer wants to be seen as a country of potentials. Rather, we must turn our potentials into opportunities so that we can eradicate poverty. Social vices driven by unemployment and idleness can be a thing of the past.
This project aligns with our administration commitments to peace building, economic diversification, and inclusive development to complement ongoing security efforts.
Championed by the Livestock Productivity and Resilience Support Project, LPRES, the hide, skin and beef value chain development hub is expected to be completed within 18 months, adding significant value to one of Nigeria's major livestock hubs, Sokoto State. Yusuf Jika, NTA News.
In the meantime, the federal government has tasked the management and staff of the Sustainable Power and Irrigation for Nigeria SPIN project to redouble their efforts towards achieving food security, effective dam management, and improved hydropower generation. Minister of Water Resources and Sanitation, Professor Joseph Utsev, gave the charge during a working visit to the SPIN project office in Abuja. The minister affirmed that the administration of President Bola Tinubu remains committed to delivering on its renewed hope agenda across all sectors. As a flagship project under the Ministry of Water Resources and Sanitation, with a mandate to scale up irrigated farming, strengthen dam management and boost hydropower generation, SPIN must intensify efforts to meet its targets. The minister expressed appreciation to the federal government and the World Bank for ensuring the smooth takeoff of the project, noting that SPIN would significantly enhance food production, improve hydropower generation, and create job opportunities for teeming youths. Professor Utsev commended the management and staff of the project for the progress recorded so far and urged them to sustain the momentum. Now, as Nigeria settles into 2026, the federal government is projecting renewed confidence following a year of bold reforms and targeted interventions across key sectors of the economy. From economic stabilization, infrastructural developments and social protection, 2025 marked a foundational year aimed at resetting Nigeria's development trajectory. Osinachi Samuel in this report reviews the progress made and the expectations ahead.
In infrastructure, investments were accelerated in roads, rail, ports, and the power sector, reinforcing the administration's drive for productivity and national connectivity.
We can see the East-West Road. That is a big cry. It has been a big cry for ages. Now we are happy. The rice, the garri, all of them, the price already subsidized and they are very in a cheaper manner.
This 2026, I think I need more of the women to go forward. Let the women come up.
Freedom to local government. And this is something that everybody is crying for.
Businesses are going to be taxed in such a way that businesses are going to be encouraged to succeed.
With reforms now firmly in place, analysts say 2026 is a year of consolidation, where federal government intervention will shift to accelerated growth and shared prosperity for Nigerians. In Port Harcourt, Osinachi Samuel, NTA News.
Let's go to River State now, where the House of Assembly has commenced impeachment proceedings against the River State Governor, Siminalayi Fubara. This occurred during plenary earlier today as the Majority Leader, Major Jack, brought a notice of gross misconduct against the governor before the House. And
Dennis, you know that River State has been on the news in the last few years, especially as this political dispensation started, and it has not been with a very good report. Today, Rivers people woke up to hear the announcement by the Rivers State House of Assembly that they are initiating impeachment process against the governor, and they gave 8 allegations of misconduct against the governor, and these allegations include reckless and unconstitutional expenditure of public funds, unconstitutional misappropriation of public funds, hindering the River State House of Assembly from performing their constitutional duties, illegal appointment of persons without allowance for screening by the House of Assembly, seizure of salaries and funds meant for Assembly members, seizure of salaries of the clerk of the River State House of Assembly, Emeka Amadi, refusal to implement provisions of the Constitution on financial autonomy of the legislature and judiciary, and finally, withholding of funds meant for the running of the River State House of Assembly Service Commission and hindering its activities. The truth is that in the last few weeks, the situation in the state it has been giving people serious concern, especially with the local government tour that has been going on. But what Rivers people didn't know is that impeachment notice will come this early. The River State House of Assembly on the 5th of December embarked on recess, and they're supposed to resume on the 26th of this January. Unfortunately, they cut off the resumption, and their first sitting today is coming up with an impeachment notice on the governor. The last time this impeachment notice came, it was the president who actually called them to order and settle it. So the Rivers people are waiting whether the same thing will happen this time around, whether the president will also help to douse the situation.
Robinson, is there any word from the governor himself regarding this development?
Please, can you repeat that again?
Are we getting any word coming in from any response coming from Governor Siminalayi Fubara on his part?
For now, we have not heard any response from the governor, but obviously people are talking and people are saying that the campaign of the governor from the PDP to APC is probably what is triggering this recent political situation in the state. As I speak to you, the political atmosphere is tense. Everybody is worried in the state over what may likely happen in the next few days. But before the end of the day, the governor may respond, and probably we will also report it accordingly.
So many thanks for giving us that update. We'll certainly come back to you as things develop. Thank you. Now, some members of the All Progressives Congress in Zamfara State have raised an alarm over alleged sabotage in the ongoing e-registration and revalidation of membership embarked upon by the party nationwide. They accuse some influential members of the party in the state of undermining the process in order to whittle down the party in the state, paving way for the opposition to retain power beyond 2027. Jamilu Ibrahim Gusau reports that the allegations were made at a press briefing in Gusau to appeal to the leadership of the party at the national level to wade in.
Conveners of the news conference under the auspices of amalgamation of different support groups in support for the re-election of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu said those behind this by denying old and new members joining the party. They said the ruling All Progressives Congress in Zamfara State has a brighter future of reclaiming its mandate in 2027, hence the need for some leaders in the state to close ranks and desist from anti-party activities.
We appeal for an independent and transparent investigation into the Zamfara APC membership e-registration exercise. We urge the party leadership to respond promptly within a timeline for the investigation and corrective actions.
We are confident that the leadership, especially at national level and the zonal level, will do the right thing.
They appealed to the national chairman of the APC and well-meaning party supporters within and outside Zamfara State to wade into the matter with a view to resolving it for seamless ongoing exercise. In Gusau, Jamilu Ibrahim, NTA News.
Meanwhile, Labour Party chieftain and candidate in the last Anambra off-cycle governorship election, George Moghalu, says Nigeria is not tilting towards a one-party system. The former APC chieftain was speaking during an interactive session with political correspondents where he mentioned that he was still consulting widely ahead of his defection to a preferred political party and advised opposition leaders to play politics with principle and ideology.
I agree, in all honesty, that the right to defection is a personal right, and anybody can exercise such right. Before I took the decision to join Labour Party to run for the election, I consulted widely. And now that the elections are over, I'm still consulting. And the moment I finish my consultation, because I must consult even those who left with me. I can't just wake up and take a decision without involving them. By the time I finish my consultation, I will now come out and make a statement with regards to what my position in this political dispensation will be. But as for now, I've not made up my mind on the next move.
He appealed to politicians to deepen internal democracy and promote the rule of law as the nation breathes towards 2027 and place national interests above personal interests. Away from politics, President Bola Tinubu congratulates Ogun State Deputy Governor Noimot Salako Oyedele on her 60th birthday. In a statement, the president described Salako Oyedele as a consummate professional, joining her family, governments and people of Ogun State in celebrating the deputy governor on this milestone. The president also congratulates Comrade Issa Aremu, the Director General of the Michael Imudu National Institute for Labour Studies, as he celebrates 65 years. The president joins the Aremu family, friends and the Labour community to congratulate the former journalist, a trade unionist and advocate for democracy on his special day. The president prays that the new chapter, Comrade Issa Aremu's life, will bring him good tidings, sound health and strength as he continues to serve the nation. All right, so let's now cross over to our Lagos Network Center where Adiola Kamiakere is standing by. Hello, Adiola.
Thank you. Welcome to Lagos. The Nigeria Customs Service Area Command has given an assessment of its performance in 2025. The record, according to the command, is its highest since inception.
The Nigeria Customs Service Semi-Area Command recorded its highest revenue collections in 2025 in a statement signed by the command's public relations officer, Tunde Ayagbalo. In December 2025 alone, the command generated 3.63 billion naira, its highest monthly collection ever. The performance was attributed to the effective implementation of the One-Stop Service Initiative, which enhanced coordination and trade facilitation at the border. From January to December 2025, the command generated a total of 15.59 billion naira, representing 117% increase over the 7.16 billion naira recorded in 2024. During the year, the command hosted the launch of the Green Border Initiative by the Customs Officers' Wives Association, alongside empowerment programs for members. The Controller General of Customs, Bashiru Adiwali Adeniyi, also launched a free medical outreach that benefited over 1,000 people. There was a tree planting exercise as well. Checkpoints along Lagos-Abuja corridor were reduced to 2 approved locations, easing legitimate trade and reducing delays. With advanced intelligence, technology, and unwavering vigilance by officers of the command, Controller Adenuga warned smugglers that semi-borders are no longer safe for illicit activities. He advised them to desist immediately or face the full weight of the law. Conversely, legitimate traders and compliant stakeholders are assured of a safe, conducive, and efficiently facilitated semi-corridor with seamless process and reduced delays to support genuine cross-border commerce and economic growth. In Lagos, Bolaji Akeem, NTA News.
At the beginning of every new year, citizens have several expectations from the government, ranging from fiscal discipline and transparency to improved living standard and infrastructure projects. Now, these expectations may build on existing initiative, renewed or newly proposed projects. As 2026 unfolds, Nigerians have been making their own expectations known. What are they? Larry Belay has the details.
Democratic setting, there's always this expectation from the governed to the government. The expectations are still there from Lagosians, from Nigerians in 2026. What are they?
More focus to be on local governments, because the state governors are reluctant to grant them the autonomy acceded to by the Supreme Court. They don't want to let go of the control they have over local governments.
That is where you want changes?
Yes. It's in the hands of the governors. The Supreme Court has given them that permission or that directive.
Good enough bills are coming out in the area of rent and tenants and landlords. So those bills, I think government should be serious about them and implement them.
Okay, personally, I will love the government, especially the government of Lagos State, to focus more on infrastructure, particularly roads and waste management. That two area for me is what I personally think, if they are able to solve that, at least to a large extent, Lagos State will be more conducive, especially for people that are willing to come in and invest in the state.
The government also aims to achieve a $1 trillion GDP by 2026 with a focus on energy, agribusiness, manufacturing, and digital services. Other expectations are sustained efforts at ensuring security of lives and property, inclusive government implementation of reforms, youth empowerment, particularly at the state and local government levels, Nigerians agreed should be prioritized. In Lagos, Larry Bilayi, NTA News.
And those are the stories from Lagos. Nationwide continues in Maiduguri with Abubakar Musa after the break.
On to Nationwide on the Nigerian Television Authority, the news belt now continues in Maiduguri. As part of sustained efforts to provide access to quality education across Borno State, Governor Babagana Umar Zulum has performed the groundbreaking ceremony for the construction of a 48-classroom higher Islamic college at Fakahel, alongside the inauguration of other projects in Bayo local government area. Here is Pauline Kujivana with the rest of the story.
The proposed higher Islamic college is designed to provide access to education for out-of-school children and to streamline the non-formal education sector into the formal system through the introduction of numeracy, literacy, digital knowledge and vocational skills. Governor Zulum directed the contractor to ensure completion of the project within 8 months. While in Fakaya, the governor also inaugurated a newly constructed government-day secondary school and virtually inaugurated the one at Balbaya community.
Let me assure the residents of this town that all those facilities that are needed in this school will be provided. The commissioners will ensure that the ongoing grading of the surrounding of the school is being completed and ensure that we have a very good computer lab.
The Commissioner for Education, Science, Technology and Innovation, Lawan Abawakilbe, said modern teaching technology has been introduced in the school. Governor Zulum expressed satisfaction with the facilities and urged stakeholders to ensure proper maintenance of the school. The governor later stopped over at Yadi village to inspect a school where he pledged to demolish 2 dilapidated classroom blocks and a community mosque with a view to reconstructing them. The entourage also visited the Briel General Hospital where the governor assessed available facilities and pledged to address the challenge of inadequate power supply. In Maiduguri, Pauline Kujevana, NTA News.
And back in the state capital now, where we shall tell you that small-scale entrepreneurs in Borno State have received a major boost as the state government launched a 1 billion naira empowerment and training program for GSM operators and marketers aimed at strengthening economic growth and youth participation in the digital economy. Here again is Pauline Kujivana with the rest of the story.
The initiative, which targets about 5,000 GSM marketers and technicians across Borno, is part of the state government's sustained commitment to human capital development and job creation. A visit by NTA crew to the GSM market shows beehive activities of young minds, including young girls taking part in the males world. Chairman of the GSM market, Ali Kodas, alongside other operators and dealers, expressed joy for the empowerment and ongoing training opportunities designed not only to provide financial support, but also to equip them with technical know-how that will enhance professionalism, productivity and sustainability within the GSM sector.
We anticipate that our customers will have a good service delivery this year because we have brought so many adjustments to our way of doing businesses that will bring about good services to our customers.
Muna kan ongoing training inda aka daura mu akai, so
we appreciate the governor, Professor Babagana Umar Zulum, and the Commissioner for Youth, Sports and Poverty Alleviation, Comrade Sayin Abuba, for the empowerment and training opportunity for our members. It will really help us to expand our businesses.
The empowerment program is expected to stimulate small-scale enterprise development, reduce unemployment, and further strengthen the state's growing digital and telecommunications ecosystem. In Maiduguri, Pauline Kujevana, NTA News.
And those are the latest stories for now from Maiduguri. Let us at this point return to Dennis in Abuja for the rest of the news.
Many thanks, Bubakar. Now, Nigeria's downstream oil market is witnessing rare relief for motorists as increased competition among marketers continues to drive petroleum pump prices down. In Abuja, our energy correspondent Lydia Sampson reports that while some petrol stations are virtually empty, despite having products, others are experiencing higher patronage.
Fuel attendants beckoning motorists to their dispensing stations. Across Nigeria, queues are thinning out at filling stations, while petrol stations offering the most affordable rates are visibly enjoying uninterrupted demand.
We are selling 739 naira per litre, so compared to other filling stations. So it's because of that. That's why people are trooping in here.
A lot of oil drivers have said that the fuel from here stays longer in your machine. It takes longer to burn. and I've tried it once or twice. I think I've enjoyed it, and that's why I'm here. I don't mind to wait a little while in order to get a better deal.
There's availability of petrol, but some stations are simply overwhelmed because of prices. But in a nutshell, why do you think people are trooping your petrol station?
Okay, first of all, I would like to commend Dangote for being indigenous, for bringing the refinery to Nigeria and giving individuals at a very low cost. There are queues here because of the low cost. We are selling at 7.39, while others are sitting 8.30, 8.35 like that. So, and again, even if we are overwhelmed, we manage it. You see how seamless the lines are?
Very happy motorists applaud the competition and express hope that more price reductions will follow as supply stabilizes and import costs ease. Already in major cities, several independent and retail outlets have been cutting price, with some selling lower than 800 naira per litre, a drop that commuters and motorists want to go even lower.
It's not, I don't think it's coming down the way we want it. Yes, I think the competition should bring it lower.
Well, basically, I think we should applaud the government for bringing it down, and we still want more of the price coming down, so it will ease the economy of the country as well.
They attribute the development to intensified rivalry among private marketers who are striving to attract customers in a fully deregulated environment. The healthy competition for many is a sign that market forces are gradually taking effect. However, industry experts caution that sustained lower prices will depend on exchange rates, global crude trend, and domestic refining capacity. But for now, many Nigerians see the emerging price war as the most welcome news in months and a glimpse of what true market liberalization could mean for consumers. In Abuja, Lydia Samson, NTA News.
Very welcome news indeed. Thank you, Lydia. Mary Domtor is in our Jos Network studio. She'll give us our next set of reports. Mary, it's over to you.
Welcome to Jos, and thank you, Dennis. National Chairman of the All Progressives Congress, APC, Professor Nentawe Yilwada, and Governor Caleb Mutfwang have expressed commitment to collaborative decision-making, open dialogue, and coordinated efforts for the development of the state. They made this known during the flag-off of the e-registration of membership of the party in Langtang North and South and Kanam local government areas of the state. Ndayang and Yebagyang reports.
The e-registration is another platform that will expand the net of the All Progressives Congress for the e-registration of more members into its fold. National Chairman of the APC, Professor Nentawe Yilwada, advised members to register with the party at the center for more cohesion and infrastructure development in the state.
We want to put face to the names that we have as our supporters. And that's why linking the database of every member of APC to the central database of Nigeria, to the NIE, so that from the central register of APC, you can now aggregate.
Governor Mutfwang says the party leaders have agreed to work together for the interest of the state with focus on shared priority and public welfare.
Going into 2027, by the grace of God, we go in as a united family. No more to divide your attention. The focus in 2027 is on plateau.
State Chairman of the party, Rufus Bature, advised members to support policies and initiatives that would change the fortunes of the state. The team visited Lantan North and Lantan South local government areas, as well as Dengi in Kanam local government area, where they intimated members on the benefits of the e-registration. While at Dengi, the APC leadership paid homage on the Emir of Kanam, Muhammadu Muhazu. The Emir emphasized that unity and cooperation amongst party members are essential for good governance, peace, and sustainable development. Ndanyan and Abuja, NTA News.
Governor Caleb Mutfwang has reaffirmed his administration's commitment to strengthening security across Plateau State, saying deliberate measures have been made to safeguard lives and property. The governor stated this during the inauguration of the Dong Police Outpost in Jos North local government area. Again, Ndayang and Abuja reports.
The police outpost is coming on the heels of persistent security concerns raised by residents of Dong community in Jos North local government area. Inaugurating the new outpost, Governor Mutfwang, represented by the Secretary to the Government of Plateau State, says security goes beyond infrastructure and requires community vigilance and resilience. He urged residents and leaders to take ownership of security of the project. Pointing and cooperation are key to changing the negative security narratives of the state.
For so much possibility and resources. Make sure that our people stick to the two aspects, that the narrative of our Plateau State is changed.
The Commissioner of Police, Emmanuel Adesina, says adequate security personnel will be deployed to the Dong Police Outpost as he urges youth and community leaders to work closely with the police to sustain peace and security.
If there is any complaint whatsoever, please channel it to police headquarters. People should not take laws into their hand, and they should collectively protect this edifice.
Chairman of Jos North Local Government Council, John Christopher, says the Dong Police Outpost stands as a symbol of hope and reassurance for the community as he appreciates Plateau State government for efforts put in place to enhance security in the state. In Jos, Ndanyan and Abuja, NTA News.
And that's our contribution from Jos. Nationwide continues in Abuja with Dennis, but after this break.
Thanks for rejoining us here in Abuja. President Bola Tinubu congratulates Dr. Zak Adediji, chairman of the Nigeria Revenue Service, on his birthday, praising his exceptional leadership and contributions to the country's revenue growth. Under Adediji's guidance, the NRS has introduced innovative ideas, adopted global best practices, and automated systems leading to significant achievements, including meeting budgetary targets in Q3 of 2025 and boosting the economy. The president highlights Adediji's role in implementing the National Single Window, a digital platform streamlining import-export processes, enhancing transparency, and reducing cargo clearance time. Tinubu wishes Adediji good health, wisdom, and strength to continue serving Nigeria. Now, cases of boat mishaps have been a recurring tragedy in the River Iron areas of Benue State, leading to loss of lives and property. This worrisome development remains a source of concern to authorities, and Ivrin Solomon looks at hazards associated with water transportation and measures by the relevant authorities to address it.
The people of Southern Ijo, flooding is a yearly experience impacting homes, farmlands and other means of livelihoods. However, true to the promises they received regarding 2025 floods, help has eventually come from the federal government. These relief materials were first received at the NEMA Operations Office in Port Harcourt before being transported to Bayelsa State for onward distribution to affected persons and communities across Southern Ijo Federal Constituency. The intervention followed a formal appeal by the member representing Southern Ijo Federal Constituency, Rodney Ambawe, who conveyed to the presidency the scale of destruction suffered by his constituents as a result of the flood incidents in the area.
What NEMA has released, I'm very grateful. And the communities were quite many. But with what has been brought, we'll be able to distribute to the various communities that are affected, irrespective of the quantity that we may have demanded for.
We had a collaborative joint assessment, and the president, through the Director General NEMA, graciously approved these items as support for those affected victims.
About 10 communities were captured in our assessment, and what has come with all the names of the people we have collated during the time of the assessment, which is about 550 names.
I feel very happy for these things to get to us.
I thank all those that are involved
that makes this thing possible for both men and women, including the disabled in Amasoma, to benefit.
The people of Southern Niger are hopeful that beyond emergency relief, lasting solutions to perennial flooding will follow. From Amasoma in Southern Niger Council area of Bayelsa State, Baratwai Awi, NTA News.
Well, apologies for the slight mix-up in that report, but we can join Ivre Solomon now, who is on standby at the Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy, located within the Benue State Secretariat, to give us an update on the actions being taken to address boat mishaps in the state. Hello, Ivre, what can you tell us?
Thank you very much, Dennis. Sorry for the mix-up. We are at the Wadata crossing points here in Makudi, one of the several crossing points we have in the state. For some time now, it has been a concern to both the state and the federal government, issues of both mishaps in the country. It could be recalled that the president set up a committee to look into the issues surrounding both mishaps in the country. And Benue State is among the 12 states that were marked to be looked into. And the jackets, these life-saving jackets, were distributed in these states, including Benue State. The Federal Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy donated 1,000 life jackets to the Benue State government to curb the menace. So far, the state government is still expecting 2,500 life jackets, which on arrival, a committee will be set up to discuss modalities on how these life jackets will be distributed to the various crossing points in the states.
Ivre, in terms of passenger numbers on these boat trips, what can you tell us about the passenger numbers? Is it a case of overloading, or is it just about life jackets?
Yes, the attitude of the people too. It's a major concern because the rate at which these boats are choked up, the passengers, everybody wants to travel at the same time, not minding their safety, both women and children. And whenever these mishaps happen, the women and the children are at the receiving end. So the law enforcement agency are just on standby. That's the NIWA, the National Inland Waterways Authorities, and other relevant authorities are just on standby, waiting for these jackets to be donated. Immediately they get hold of these jackets, I think the enforcement on the wearing of jackets and the reduction in the number of passengers on the boats will be enforced too, will be carried out.
Thanks for giving us that update. We certainly hope things will improve on this matter over there. Thank you. Now, the Yobe State government has inaugurated a 21-man steering committee to monitor and advise on the progress of the education sector, with focus on basic and secondary education. Yunusa Suleiman tells us more.
Education is one of the sectors in Yobe State receiving government attention, an investment that has improved examination performance, boosted enrollment drives, promote teacher training, and enhanced infrastructure development. The State Steering Committee for the Revitalization of Basic and Secondary Education, chaired by the State Deputy Governor, Idi Berdegubana, has 20 other prominent individuals, including government officials, educators, and stakeholders. The committee's terms of reference include assessing the state of education, identifying challenges, and proposing strategies to reduce out-of-school children, improve security, and enhance community engagement, among others.
This note, it has become expedient for the state government to sort of a steering committee that will monitor, advise, and report the progress being made in the sector, so that the aims and objectives of the government can be achieved appropriately, which is the reason of the formation of this committee. It is therefore my fervent hope and pray that we will hit the ground running concerning the enormous task ahead of us.
The inauguration of the steering committee, stakeholders say, is another bold move towards improving education in the state. In Damaturu, Yunusa Suleiman, NTA News.
Examination malpractices in Nigeria have again come under the spotlight, with strong calls for the total elimination of leakages through the use of technology, strict punishments for erring learners, teachers, parents and schools involved in the act. Thomas Ogbetere reports that these, amongst others, were the key submissions made by guests on NTA's Good Morning Nigeria.
Eliminating and blocking all leakages that encourage any form of examination malpractice in Nigeria is a necessity. Guests on Good Morning Nigeria stressed that while the adoption of computer-based tests (CBT) is important, it must be backed by strict sanctions against all examination centers that promote or support the menace. Speaking on randomization and serialization mechanism, the guests explained that the system will be designed to ensure that in the computer-based test, no two candidates' answer to the questions are the same, even when they sit on the same examination hall, thereby making cheating more difficult.
And that is why we are even moving to CBT, because in the process of publishing this examination, in the process of transferring this examination, there are different windows that these examination questions can leak.
If we're writing the exams at the same time, if you're giving me answers for one and my question is for two, if I copy it, automatically I'm out.
The guest stressed that engaging qualified and ethical teachers is key to preparing students and restoring discipline and credibility in the education system, while highlighting new reforms such as learners' identity numbers and continuous assessment deadlines.
Parents too must do their own part as parents to ensure that they encourage their wards to learn.
The guests agreed that examination malpractice has undermined the credibility of WAEC and NECO certificates and can only be addressed through urgent action and collective support from government, schools, parents and students. In Abuja, Thomas Ogbetere, NTA News.
Elsewhere, Nigeria is intensifying efforts to attract Spanish investments, aiming to reposition its economy as a strategic bridge between Europe and Africa. The push was led by the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Yusuf Tuga, during a high-level engagement with Spain's leading business confederation, the Spanish Confederation of Business Organizations. A statement by the minister's media aide, Al-Qasim Abdul-Qadir, says the meeting is a deliberate move to reset Nigeria's bilateral economic relationship with Spain. He says the minister highlighted Nigeria's reform trajectory and seeks a long-term framework for Nigeria shifting from an oil-dependent economy to a stabilized economy. He assures the Spanish investors of ongoing reforms to improve the ease of doing business in the country. Now, Europe to Asia, Australia and South America, Nigerian footballers reign and stand tall. But what is the situation looking like back here in Nigeria? Now, we all know that football is big business, but how is this translating to economic gains and human capital development for Nigeria? Daniel Adiri in this report delves into the talent gap in the football world in Nigeria and how a Nigerian is turning lemons into lemonades, as captured in the bold effort to change the narrative surrounding Nigeria's local leagues. This report is brought to you courtesy of the Solution Journalism Initiative.
You're aware that Nigeria is currently Africa's biggest export as far as football stars are concerned. And if you doubt me, well, you can check the list. However, the point is not about what is being or who rather is being exported. It's more about those who aren't. And I'm referring to the local leagues. But while it is easy to name and shame and poke fingers, there are those who are making concerted and intentional efforts to see that the narrative around football and sports development in general is not just always in the negative, but rather much more progressive.
It's time for us to talk about the MPFL. Crazy results over the weekend.
Meet Bumi Haruna, a sports journalist whose forte is reporting every and anything local football. But passion, Bumi says, is what drove him to take it even a step further and went on to become a coach. This, he says, was because of a vacuum he saw in proper coaching at the local league level.
What I saw then, what I discovered was that all these players had natural talent, but it was obvious that they lacked coaching. There was also a statistics back then that shows that at that time, Nigeria had less than 600 certified football coaches. And at that point, Egypt, Tunisia had over 6,000, 7,000. So, and look at our population compared to that of Egypt, Tunisia, and the likes of them. So there was a gap. I saw a gap that could be filled.
Going by available statistics, there are at least 1.2 million youths who seek greener pastures abroad in the sporting sector, specifically football. But the availability of coaches per player has proven to be a major challenge, such that many talents go unnoticed or just fade away, blending into other pathways of life, with dreams unfulfilled. Not allowing obstacles deter his vision, Bumi pushed through the doors and dared to walk into the room, becoming a voice for many young talents in this field of play, with particular focus on the grassroots.
I've also traveled out with players, exposed them to international football. Last year I was in Denmark. This year I was in Portugal. And all these players, some of them getting contracts outside the country and all the likes of it, not just for the football alone, but for the fact that I know that they will be able to cater for their family. If one succeeds, it's probably he will be able to take care of at least 20 or thereabout persons. So this is huge, looking at the impact it will make on our economy.
The move paid off, as Bumi has so far trained and coached over 100 football talents from across the country, with more than 40% of that number playing either locally or thriving internationally. Notable on that list are Super Eagles stars Taiwo Awoni, Kelechi Iheanacho and Akikunmi Amo.
Since I've been playing football, I've met a lot of coaches, but I would tell you that Coach Bumi Haruna is non-arguably the best coach that I've met in my career so far because of how he handles the player-to-coach relationship.
A coach who lectures you on and off the pitch, how to live your life outside football, what to do outside football. I think he should be called one of the best coaches to me.
He reads opponents, he reads games. If game is not going well in first half, second half, he knows how to make changes and tell you this is how we should approach this game. And when we come back second half, we go the way he wants and how he wants us to do it. The game will go perfectly fine and we win the game.
Bumi says it has not been as easy as ABC, as dribbling through funding and logistics for these young talents remains a major challenge, with no free kick in play. He insists that home-based players must be encouraged just as much as the local leagues to have a wholesome effect and mastery of the round leather game. He also appealed for more participation and active engagement by organised private sector for more impact.
My goal, I must not deceive you, is to see Nigeria win the World Cup.
It is noteworthy to state that, out of every 5 football fans in Nigeria currently, there are at least 3 who support foreign-based leagues. But with the likes of Bumi stepping up and polishing diamonds in the rough with this initiative, the future of Nigerian football and footballers can only translate to a rising profile in youth engagement, competence, expertise and progress.
Bumi is just one of several others in the country who have taken it upon themselves to see that it is not just always doom and gloom. Rather, as a people, we can make concerted efforts individually in our little corners to ensure that the very best of development comes back to our leagues, which in the past was probably, if not the best, in the continent. In Abuja, I am Daniel Adirie.
Many thanks, Daniel. And that concludes Nationwide. Many thanks for watching. I am Dennis Adegunloye.